All right, hello everyone. Um, this is your Yin Yoga um, class for tonight, and or today, whenever you're doing it. It's going to be about an hour long, and if you don't know what Yin Yoga is, one of the things that it does is instead of stretching muscles, well, we're still going to be stretching muscles, but the purpose of Yin Yoga is not so much stretching muscles as it is to stretch tendons and ligaments. And the way you do that is a little bit different than the way you stretch muscles. Um, the way you stretch tendons and ligaments is you come into a stretch and you hold it for longer period of time than we might usually do in our yoga class. So usually when we're stretching muscles, we hold it for, beginners and gentle, we hold it for about a half a minute. In the more advanced classes, we hold it for about a minute. In this class, we're going to be holding our poses for 2 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes, and this just like, it was described to me like when you were a kid and you had braces on your teeth, and they would tighten those braces up, and you would hold it would hold your teeth in that position for long periods of time, and then you had gained that extra bit of space. So that's what we intend to do with our ligaments and tendons. This is going to be a really easy class, and we're going to start the way we usually do, just by laying on your back. If you have a blanket and you want to do your back chest bolster, go ahead and do that. And so lay down, be comfortable, and close your eyes. And I'm going to be quiet for about 1 minute before I start talking. And so moving awareness through the body, from the crown of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes. Pausing whenever needed to let go of tension or tightness that you encounter. Moving awareness into the breath, and into the tips of the nostrils where you feel the flow of the breath. Notice the cool air coming into the body with each inhalation. Notice the slightly warmer air coming out of the body with each exhalation. Moving awareness into those places in your body where you most tend to feel stress. And now becoming very soft in those places. And letting the breath be smooth. Letting the breath be deep. Letting the breath be even. Okay, and then you can bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. If you have your back on a back chest bolster, then scoot back until the buttocks is on top of the bolster. And then we're all going to bring our knees into our chest. And then you can bring your feet back down onto the ground. If you have a bolster, lift up to remove the bolster. And then we can all roll over to our side and come up to a seated position. So I forgot to mention, because you're doing this at home, trying to put me, and I could put music into this video afterward, and that might work, but it's something I've not done before, so I would rather not experiment with it for this class. But if you wanted to hit your pause button and go over and get yourself some really nice soft music to play while this class is going on. As I said, it's going to last almost an hour. And so if you want to have soft music going while you're doing this, feel free to do that. All right. So the first pose that it's kind of a warm up. So it's not really going to be stretching much. It's going to be stretching the muscles of the back, and it's also going to be opening up the hips a little bit too. So you're going to be doing that, but it's going to be very easy to do. So we're going to bring our feet into Baddha Konasana, so that the soles of the feet together. By the way, you see that I have my socks on and I have my sweater on because I want to stay nice and cozy. We don't really need to be in bare feet for this. So if you want to have your socks on and stay nice and warm, if it's cold out, then go ahead and do that. If you want to be barefoot, do that too. Now, in Baddha Konasana, we usually have the feet, as close to the pelvic floor as we can. In this pose, and this is called, they call this one butterfly, you want your legs out like this. So, you can bring your feet in a little bit if you like feeling a little bit more of a stretch. And then we're just going to kind of lean forward. And then you're going to let your head droop down, let your spine round. And we're going to stay like this for a few minutes. And I'm going to lift my head back up so that I can talk, but you should be in this position and just stay here. So please, not only with this pose, but all of the poses that we're going to be doing, relax into them. The idea is not to achieve anything. We're not trying to get anywhere. Just relax and be there. And the force of gravity is basically going to stretch you as much as you need to be stretched in these poses. So just be here, and I'm going to be quiet for a while, and I'm going to come into this pose myself. So if your neck gets tired, you can always lift your head up, and if you lift your head up, you're going to see me in that pose. And then if your neck feels better after a few breaths, you can let it hang down again. Continue to relax. Okay, and then you can lift your head back up. And we're going to do a counter pose for this. And the counter pose is called windshield wipers. So we're going to be coordinating movement with breath for this one. And I'll just show you what it is we're going to be doing. is you'll notice I have my feet on the outer edges of the sticky mat, and I'm going to be lowering my legs to the right and then bringing them back up and lowering the knees to the left and bringing them back up. And I'm going to be coordinating that with the breath. So as I exhale, I'm going to be lowering the legs to the right, and then I'm going to inhale as I lift the legs back up. And I'm going to exhale the legs to the left, and I'm going to inhale as I lift the legs back up. And we're going to do one more part with this, and that is the head. So I'm not going to say anything about the head, but if you would like, when your legs go to the right, turn your head to the left. When the legs come back up to center, your head comes back up to center. When your legs go over to the other side, to the left, your head turns to the right. And when the legs lift up into the air, the head comes back to center as well. Okay? So I'm going to start you out. We'll do this together. And then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to let you continue. So, your breath rate may be faster than mine, so you may be doing this a little quicker than what I'm doing it, or you might even do it slower than I'm doing it. So just remember to use your own breath. So I'm going to start us all out. So bring your legs out onto the outside of the sticky mat. And then we'll start to the right. So start with an inhalation. And then exhale your knees to the right. And inhale your knees back up to center. And exhale your knees to the left. And inhale your knees back up to center. Now I'm going to stop saying it, and you just keep going at your own rate of speed. Okay, and then you can stop. All right, so you can come back up. So now this will be the first exercise where it gets to be a little bit more intense as far as feeling muscles stretch, because even though we're stretching tendons and ligaments, our muscles are going to be stretching too. So this one is called straddle, and we're going to bring our legs out like this. So I just came up to the computer because there was some message about logging off, and I hope that's not a bad thing. So we're going to be straddling over our right leg to begin with. And what I like to do is I'll place my left hand in front, my right hand behind, and I'm going to lift my hips up and turn so that I'm facing my right leg. Okay, and then we're just going to straddle over that right leg, and this is where we're going to stay for a couple of minutes. We're going to try and stay 2 minutes on each side. So we're going to do the right, we're going to do the left, and we're going to do the center. So just straddle over this leg and be here. And again, I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes. And we are about halfway done with this side. We're actually more than halfway done with this side. So about 3 more breaths and we'll be coming up. Okay, and then you can come up. All right, so now you place your right hand in front. You lift up and turn so you're facing your left leg. And then we're going to straddle over the left leg and just be here for another couple of minutes. Listen to your breath. Make sure your breath is nice and smooth. And we're about halfway. We're halfway done with this side. Okay, and then you can come back up. And now we're going to scoot so that we are in the center. And we'll do the last 2 minutes coming forward like this. So just as far forward as you go. Again, let your head hang down, be as relaxed as you can, except for the, feeling that stretching that's going on in your body. The more you can relax in these poses, the more gravity is going to bring you into a greater stretch. Halfway there. Three more breaths. One more breath. And you can come back up. All right. So with that, we're going to once again move into our counter pose windshield wipers. So you already know how to do this. We're going to do this for about a minute. I'm going to take a quick look and make sure that my timer is still going. I was just afraid that maybe the thing was going to turn itself off, but it hasn't. All right. So windshield wipers, we're going to do this for another minute. Lay on your back. Bring your feet out onto the outer edges of the sticky mat. And remember, you're going to exhale as you lower your legs to the right and turn your head to the left at the same time. And then inhale as you bring everything back up to center. And then other side, do the other side and just back and forth. And you can come back up. So we're going to be doing some back bending. And in order to get ready for back bending, we're going to just come into child's pose for about a minute. So just coming into your child's pose and just be there. And you can come back up. So for our back bending, we're going to be holding these poses. Now I have written down on my sheet here that we would hold each one for 3 minutes, but I think that's a little bit long. We're going to try and hold each one for 2 minutes. The first two aren't so bad, but the last one of the 3 poses that we're doing will be a little bit more intense, and that may be harder for you to hold for 2 minutes. But let me just show you, and I'm going to be sideways to the camera so that you can see better what it is that's happening. Is the first pose, I just have my hands, I'm grabbing hold of my elbows. So each hand is grabbing hold of the elbow. And notice that my elbows are beyond my shoulders. I don't have them right under the shoulders like this. I have them out like that. So that's going to be the first one. You don't have to do it yet because we're going to, as I say, we're going to spend 2 minutes in each one. And then from here, we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So at that point, we'll be up a little bit more into this spinal extension, into this back bend, and now the elbows are right under the shoulders. So we'll be like that for a couple of minutes. And then without moving your hands, you're going to keep your hands right where they are, and you're just going to lift your elbows up off of the ground. So now you're moving into a deeper bend. And this one may be hard to hold for 2 minutes. So, if after a while you say, this is just killing my back, I can't do this, come back down into Sphinx pose for a few breaths. And then after you've done that for a few breaths, maybe you might feel like, oh, maybe I can lift my arms back up again. I'll bring my arms back up again and see if I can hold it like this through the rest of the pose. Okay. So here we go. And I'll just stay sideways like this. So if you need to glance up to see where we are, you can see where we are. So remember, we're grabbing hold of our opposite elbow with each hand, and our elbows are out beyond our shoulders, so we're just a little ways off the ground. And here's where we're going to be for the next 2 minutes. Try and keep your head up, because that's part of the spine extension. After a while, if your neck gets really tired, you can maybe rest your head on your on your arms for a moment, and then lift your head back up again. But, it's only 2 minutes, so maybe you'll be able to keep your head up for that full 2 minutes. We are at the halfway point, so we've done 1 minute so far. Okay, from here you can come up into your Sphinx pose. So now your elbows are right under your shoulders. You're a little bit more into a extension of your spine. Breath is smooth. We're halfway done with this one. We're getting ready to move into our third and final of the back bending. Okay, so keeping your hands where they are, just lift your elbows up off of the ground. And we're going to be up here. When and if you need to, it's okay to bring your forearms down to the ground for a few breaths and then try and come back up into this. Yeah, and we're halfway done with this one, so this means in less than a minute we'll be done with all of the back bending of this class. So 3 more breaths. Last breath. And we're done. And from here, push yourself back into child's pose and be in child's pose. We'll be in child's pose for another minute. Okay, and then you can come back up. All right, so this next one is, for me anyhow, it's the most intense of all of them. And it's called half shoelace. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our legs out. So sit like I'm sitting, sit with your legs out. And I'm going to take my left ankle and I'm going to set it on top of my right knee. Now my kneecap is right here, so my foot is a little bit above the kneecap. So it's between your kneecap and your upper torso. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this leg over until the foot is on the ground, like that. So what this is going to do is it's going to keep your knee from popping up when you straddle over that right leg. And that's what we're going to do for a couple minutes now, is we're going to straddle over our right leg. We'll do 2 minutes on each leg. So go ahead and straddle over your right leg. We're halfway done with this leg, so we have less than a minute to go. And remember, when you're straddling, your head is completely relaxed. Okay, and then you can come back up. All right. And then we'll lengthen out through our left leg, and we'll place the right ankle just above the kneecap. And then we'll push that leg over until the foot is on the ground. And now we're going to straddle out over our left leg and just be there for a couple of minutes. You should be completely relaxed. And we have less, we're a little bit more than halfway done. Three more breaths. Two more breaths. One more breath. And you can come back up. All right, so we're going to go back to windshield wipers for a counter pose. So we'll be doing that for a minute. Laying down on your back, your feet on the outside of the sticky mat, and just we've done this 2 times, so you should remember how to do it by now. Let's just do this for a minute. Okay, and then you can really stick them up. We'll do, this is called Happy Baby Pose. And it's probably, in a yoga class is the only place where you can do this without having anyone laugh at you. But it does kind of look like a baby. So you're laying down with your legs kind of tabletop, and you're reaching up and grabbing hold of your feet. So I'm grabbing hold of my feet on the outside, And then, as you're pulling on your feet, you're pulling your knees down toward the ground. And then you can just rock from side to side like this. And just be in happy baby pose. So go ahead and come into this on your own. And we'll be here for about a minute. Okay. And from here, we're coming into our restorative twisting. The one difference between what we usually do, so usually when we bring our knees over to the right, we're turning our head over to the left. Well, this time we're going to turn our head in the same direction as our knees. So when you bring your knees to the right, you're going to bring your head to the right. Okay, so go ahead and lay on your back. Bring your knees up into your chest. And then lower them all the way down to the right side of your body, and you can look out over your right arm. And then you can bring your knees back up into the air and then gently lower them over to the left side of your body. And because this is restorative, we're going to be looking out over our left arm. And you can bring your knees back up in the air, wrap your hands around the backs of your thighs, roll your hips around in circles. And then in the opposite direction. And you can bring your feet back down onto the ground, lengthen out through your legs, and come into Shavasana. And you can turn your head from side to side a couple of times, making sure there's no tension or tightness in the neck. And together we'll slowly move awareness through the body, beginning with all of the awareness in the crown of the head. Moving awareness down into the forehead, down into the eyebrows, moving awareness into the eyes, letting the eyelids fall heavy over the eyes, letting the eyes fall heavy in the eye sockets, moving awareness into the nose. With each inhalation, the body is nourished. With each exhalation, the body is cleansed. Moving awareness down into the lips, softening the lips. Moving awareness into the tongue, letting the tongue float inside the mouth. Moving awareness into the jaws, letting the jaws be unclenched. Out into the cheeks, down into the chin, and softening through the entire face. Moving awareness into the throat, into the deep, deep muscles of the throat, down into the neck. Moving awareness out into the shoulders, softening the shoulders. And then all the way down through the upper arms, into the lower arms, into the hands, into the fingers, into the fingertips. Moving awareness back through the fingers into the hands, all the way up through the lower arms, into the upper arms, into the shoulders. Moving awareness into the chest, and then down into the heart center, the heart chakra. Moving awareness down into the stomach, down into the navel region, down into the lower belly. Moving awareness into the pelvis, and then all the way down through the upper legs, into the lower legs, into the feet, into the toes, into the toe tips. Moving awareness into the breath, breathing now as if the whole body were breathing. Letting the breath flow as if upward into infinity, downward into infinity, passing through the entire body from head to toes, releasing all efforts. And for a quiet, conscious moment, just enjoying the flow of the breath over and over. Deepening the inhalations, deepening the exhalations. Let the deepening of the breath begin to animate the body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, as you slowly transition back from internal to external. You may cup your hands and place them gently over your closed eyes, and then open your eyes into the warmth and darkness of the palms. Bringing your hands back down to your side, stretching, moving your body in any way that makes you feel good. And then when you're done stretching, you can roll over onto your right side. And in your time, as you become ready, you may come back up to a seated position. All right, so this ends our Yin Yoga class. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or evening or whatever you're going to be doing. Namaste.